Hey, Janelle, thank you so much for joining me today.
Meg, you're so welcome. I'm honored to be back for a second
I
round.
know it's so exciting. And it's even more exciting because it's not just a second round on the podcast, but you're actually going to be speaking at the Become Influential Virtual Summit, which is happening June 8th through 12th. And I'm so excited to have you speak there because it's going to go deeper than the podcast interview went before, or than this one is going to go. We're going to go deeper into your brilliance, and you're going to teach us a ton of amazing things. So I'm excited today to reintroduce you to our listeners and then talk about the summit a little bit and what you're going to be bringing to the table. So thanks for finding time to do that.
Of course. Well, no, and this summit is just going to be incredible. I've seen the list of speakers. I mean, I'm just so impressed. Meg, we were talking about this. Like, I'm so impressed with you and everyone that you've brought together, and just truly there are so many virtual summits happening right now, but yours is being executed flawlessly. So I'm just so impressed.
Thank you so much. It makes me so happy, and I'm so proud and excited
Yeah.
for all of the speakers who are there too. This may make me look really lame, but I'll just go to the landing page and just look at everybody's picture, and I'm like, wow, they're all amazing, and they're all going to be in one place. Like, how valuable is that? So
Right.
thank you so much for saying that. It means a lot to me.
Of
So
course.
now, can you reintroduce your story a little bit? Tell me a little bit about how your family and your career has changed over the past few years.
Totally. So, Meg, like a bunch of us in the entrepreneurial space, I started out with a really traditional career. I was a teacher. I had my master's in teaching. I was, at the time that I left the field of education, I was on 100% scholarship to the University of Notre Dame for a master's in educational leadership. I was the assistant principal at a school at the age of 25. I mean, I was really being groomed in education to take over schools, right? And it all kind of came crashing down when I encountered a really abusive work situation. And one of the core values of this organization was grit. And they talked a lot about the hustle and the grind, and all those quotes that we hear, good things come to those who hustle. I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? All the things. And I could not sustain it. And it's funny looking back now, was a single young woman, right? I didn't have anyone else to take care of, but I struggled with panic anxiety disorder. And I think, mental health is something that is not spoken about enough in our society. And I think we're all just if you are not I don't know how much your audience knows about human design, but if you're not a masculine generator, able to just kind of crank out those hours and shove your emotions to the side, it's really hard to be a fully functioning adult in this society if you don't have those attributes. And so I'm a manifester, which in the human design profile means that I don't recreate my own energy. And so I need a lot of recuperation time. I had anxiety, and I just could not keep up with the breakneck pace. And anyways, because I could not keep up, and because I really, I like to say that I gave, the other teachers, because I was assistant principal. So I gave the teachers permission to be human, when the principal of the school was kind of demanding that they be robots, right? And so he did not like the way that I was kind of making him look bad. So, unintentionally. And so I got fired. And so I got married, I got fired, and I got pregnant within 2 months of each other.
Oh
And
man.
I was the main, I know. And I was the main breadwinner. My husband was in school, and it was just no one was hiring teachers in February, okay? And then I was doing November, so I wasn't going to go back to school in August, only to leave my kids and, all the things. So I decided to start a tutoring company. And I realized that working 8 hours a week is awesome. And so it just really, I wasn't making a ton of money, but it really just allowed me to have the recuperation time I needed to be the wife I wanted to be, to prepare for my daughter the way that I wanted to. And it really gave me the opportunity to embark on this 9-month healing journey, right? Of like healing my anxiety and going to therapy. And I finally had like time to meditate and journal and do all the things. And so anyway, after my daughter was born, she was 5 months old, I joined a digital marketing program, and it was a huge financial investment, 5 figures, which we did not just have available at the time. But I made it back in 3 weeks. And my first client was able to quit her job within 6 weeks. And so I realized I was onto something. And since then, Meg, I've made multiple 6 figures in the past 2 years in the online space while only working 20 hours a week.
And I love that. And I love that you call yourself the part-time CEO, because I think that is, I just love it. I love that you set those boundaries too, that you don't work too much, because that's the goal. You know, everybody, it may not be 20 hours that your goal is, but you want to spend less time working than you are spending doing other things. And I also love that you turned that negative experience of losing your job, and could it have been a more stressful time? I don't think so. So you turned that negative experience in like a super stressful time into this amazing opportunity that grew and pivoted into what you are doing today.
I so appreciate that. No, and you're so right. I mean, I have clients who want to work 10 hours a week, and I have clients who love working 40 hours a week. And really, it's not about the hours, it's about the lifestyle, and it's about having choices. And I think that is what's really exciting about, you know, the Becoming Influential Summit is like, you get to choose, you know, you just get this huge amount of information that's available to you. And then from there, you get to choose, oh, this is what works for me. This is the golden nugget. This is what I'm going to take from that presentation. And just, I don't think we realize how much in our lives is available to choice. I think we just assume that, you know, we just follow the yellow brick road and just assume that that's the way it is, right? But we actually have so much more power than we think we do. And that's really the whole impetus behind the Part-Time CEO brand.
And it's funny, it's so true. Like my initial story has to do with an illness and near-death experience with my 3rd pregnancy. And then I left the workforce, I started entrepreneurship, and then I was offered a full-time job, and I thought I was healed. And I'm saying that in like air quotes. Like I thought I had time to like process the trauma, like the internal emotional trauma that I suffered through almost dying a couple times and almost losing my baby and all of those things. And so I went back to work. And that's when I realized that that's not the path that everybody has to take.
No,
you know,
and like, it doesn't say anything about you. If you're not cut out, like I always joke, I'm like, I'm completely unemployable. Like, don't try to hire me, hire me as an employee, right? Hire me as your coach. But it's like, I'm really unemployable because, you know, it's not natural. Like the 9 to 5 work week is not normal. It's not the way humans evolved. And so for some people, it works really great. And that's so wonderful. But for a lot of us, and especially mothers, I mean, it's just that opportunity to not have to miss out on our kids' childhood is just, I mean, it's the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves.
I agree. No, I totally agree with you. Now, let's talk about your session. So, like I mentioned, the summit runs June 8th through 12th, and you're speaking on Tuesday, June 9th. I have to get all these days straight. And between all of these interviews,
I'm amazed you remembered that.
I'm working on it. So you're presenting on Tuesday, June 9th. That's our day for business tools and strategies.
Totally.
And I cannot wait to dive deeper into what you are going to be presenting. So can you give us a brief outline of what our attendees are going to learn from that session?
Absolutely. So basically where it all begins, and, you know, just for your reference and for the people listening, come to my session. It's called Stop Building Funnels and Other Attraction Marketing Secrets. And basically what I want all of the, you know, audience members to realize is that probably 80% of what they've learned about marketing funnels is wrong. It was probably penned in 2015 or so, when the bro marketing culture was really going strong. It was a very masculine energy, and it was a very, clients were disposable, right? It was always about getting new traffic, new traffic, new traffic. But if you want a sustainable business, and if you are, looking to build relationships, not just, if you don't view your clients as just paychecks, it might feel really spammy to operate your business that way. And so I am completely against the spam. I have a ridiculous client retention rate. I retain probably 70% of all of my clients have, booked with me 2, 3. I have one client who's re-upped with me 5 times. And those are the best sales to make, because you don't have that learning curve of kind of reintroducing them to my process. I didn't have to spend a dime to acquire that client. And usually those sales are closed via Messenger. So I didn't have to comb through an application. I didn't have to spend an hour on a sales call. That's why I really focus on sustainable organic business growth. I've been in business for 2 years. I've done multiple 6 figures, and my audience is still under 700 people. Right? And so in order to be able to create a business with that small of a list size that's so profitable, you just have to be really focused on, client retention, referrals, and just building that loyal customer base. And there are so many ways that we do that. And the other half of what I talk about is, attraction marketing. Like, how are you gathering those loyal, amazing, raving fans who are just going to, keep working with you and send all their friends to you, right? And I actually have developed a completely proprietary system for discovering what type of marketer you are and leveraging, your gifts, your talents, your energy levels, right? Like what you have to offer. But then even going into like part of your genetic coding to determine what type of marketer you are, and then really building out a quote funnel that works for you and that you choose based on your desired lifestyle and on your desired business model. I'm going to go over all of that in detail in our session. I was building out the slides today, and I just couldn't be more excited. I think this is going to be the most in-depth training I've done on this topic for free. I'm just so excited to share all of my secrets with your audience.
Oh my goodness. And I just think this is going to be amazing, because I have personally fallen into that I love how you called it bro marketing, because I use the same term, but I've fallen into that bro marketing trap before. And it wasn't long ago where I bought into a program, and it was by a popular bro marketer, if you will.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give it a try. I'm just going to do all the things he says. I'm just going to give it a try. And I did it. And I felt gross, and I felt terrible about it. And some of my friends who were on my list, like people who were comfortable enough to come to me, were like, girl, what is this stuff? And so I stopped everything I was doing. I sent an email out to my list. And here's the other thing, like the other part of the story is it's okay to make mistakes. So I sent an email to my list, and I was like, listen, I'm so sorry. Like, I did this thing, and I explained the story, and I think I lost a couple people like in the initial test phase. And from that moment, like that was my like proof that if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Like you don't have to be, just because it works for somebody else doesn't mean it has to work for you. So anyhow, that's my whole little story that just felt like it needed to come through because of what you just said. And what you're going to teach on is so important for that reason. You can be authentic. You can be, and I know authentic is like one of those trendy words, but you can, be true to you and still build your business in a profitable way.
Absolutely. Marketing, sales, business, it is not one size fits all. And it will work. Actually, it will work better, and it's what's best for you and your clients if you operate in a way that feels true to you and that feels authentic. So I so appreciate your story, and I definitely have had similar experiences, Meg. I think everyone in the online space has. So I'm really excited to introduce a new way, a custom way.
Yes. And if they haven't, they should attend this session so that they never have to.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Like I said, you're speaking on Tuesday.
Mhm.
Make sure if you haven't already gotten your tickets are free for the summit. So you can go get your free ticket to the summit at becomeinfluential.com and make sure that you hit up Janelle's summit presentation on Tuesday, June 9th. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And I absolutely cannot wait to see the presentation when I get it into my hands.
Thanks, Meg.